My name is Adam. I'm 26 years old. I'm from Ashland, Pennsylvania.
I'm Jason. I'm 35. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina.
My name is Ross. I'm 24 and I'm from Westchester, Pennsylvania.
I was 15 years old when I came out in high school.
I came out when I was 25 years old. I'm now 26 years old.
It was relatively quick. I was young when I knew I was gay, so I was young when I came out, and pretty much I was one of those people who figured if I was going to do it, I was going to do it big. So I told my family, all of my friends at the same time, within days.
It was a constant struggle throughout my life. I knew that it was something that interested me since the age of 13 years old. I struggled with it throughout adolescence. I lived a constant struggle between doing what my father thought was right, or the more traditional way, and it wasn't until I graduated, moved to a city where I found that it was okay. It wasn't anything to be ashamed of. There are many successful people that are homosexual and doing well for themselves, and I saw that it was okay.
I wasn't ready to come out in high school, and I honestly think that was a good thing. I wasn't comfortable with myself. I was very insecure. I was afraid of what people might think of me, so I held off through high school. I held off through freshman year of college, and then once I finally had my own apartment, I had my own space, and I really became independent, in college. And that's when I realized, enough is enough. It's time for me to really be who I actually am.
It was definitely a process for me. It got to the point where a lot of things in my life were piling up. I didn't feel comfortable with who I was, and I knew that the only way that I could come to grips with myself and finally move forward with all of this was to start the process of coming out to family.
My brother's also gay, so he was easy. My mother was very disappointed, and my father, who was an ex-Marine, FBI agent, Southern through and through, told me that he loved me, but he was disappointed, which was the hardest thing to hear.
Of course, I told my friends first, but then I quickly got into a relationship and I wanted to share that with my parents. So it wasn't too long after my friends had found out, probably a couple months, that I told my parents.
When I let people know I was gay, it was shock to most people. It was tough telling ex-girlfriends, it was tough telling close family. The response was overall positive. As I started telling more family, I became more comfortable with it. Right off the bat, I felt like I was ready. I wasn't ashamed anymore. I was ready to talk about it, but it brought a whole range of emotions as I told specific members of my family. Before I told my older brother, I came home and sobbed for about 2 weeks prior. I thought, this isn't right, this isn't okay. When I did tell him, he was more happy that I wasn't dying of cancer, that he fully accepted me.
Being able to be myself makes life a lot easier because I can really enjoy all of the things that I do. I don't really have to think about what anyone cares about how I live my life because I'm comfortable with myself. And that was the one thing that really made life a lot easier.
Being comfortable with yourself is more important than anything else, and that will have the most dramatic impact on your daily life. When you're comfortable and free to do whatever you want at any given point without regard to what other people are going to think, that's when you really notice a difference. And immediately once I came out, the difference from my life previously and my life afterwards was pretty significant. And the thing that hit me in the face like a brick wall was the ability to, be who I am. If I want to sing Britney Spears while I'm driving down the car, then heck yeah, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to care about what other people think.
My life has improved drastically. I'm able to communicate better with friends, family, I feel like I'm a more positive person. I have a lot more love to give. I'm more comfortable with myself and who I am.
Yeah, it doesn't happen immediately. At least it didn't for me. I was uncomfortable being gay because I knew it wasn't the social norm. But now, as an adult, it doesn't really matter because there is no social norm anymore. I feel comfortable all the time, and it makes everything better.
Take a second to yourself. Think about where you're headed in your life and where you see yourself, and most importantly, what makes you happy. You know, rushing it is never a good thing, but holding off on coming out isn't necessarily a great thing ever, because you're missing out on so many important years of your life. You know, to be comfortable with yourself and to just be who you are is more important than anything. And once you do realize that, you know, now is the time and I'm just gonna do it, it's not as bad as you think it is. And all those things that you thought in your head probably aren't true.
Go slow and measure your words, but don't measure them so that it makes you feel ashamed of yourself, because the only reason that anyone can think of something as shameful is if the people who are it are ashamed of being it. You have to lead by example. It does get better. Being yourself is the only person you can be, and as you get older, you'll see that the opinions you value now will not be the opinions you value later in life. So just go along and be happy with who you are.
Definitely do not rush it. This is something that should come gradually, and as you become more and more okay with it, you're going to be able to talk about it better. You're going to be able to reach out to friends, family that you didn't even know would accept you. There are hundreds of thousands and millions of people going through the same thing that you are, and it's not anything to be ashamed of. As time goes on, you'll realize that this was just a little roadblock in the way of your life. You have great things to live for. Your life can get amazing, and you just need to battle through this really hard time, and things can get great.
It gets better.
It gets better, and it just keeps getting better.
It gets better. It just keeps getting better.